Greetings! I'm Anthony L. Elmore, President and Founder of the Proud Black Buddhist World Association. We at the Proud Black Buddhist World Association practice the Buddhist teachings as taught by the 13th century Japanese sage Nichiren Shonin. The word Nichiren means sun lotus and Shonin means priest. Nichiren taught that the highest teachings of the Buddha Shakyamuni of India was the Lotus Sutra, and we are only to practice the Lotus Sutra. It is Black History Month in America, and this lecture is geared toward Black History Month. Our lecture today is called Tina Turner, the mother of proud Black Buddhists. Now, there is an African proverb that reads, quote, "If lions were historians, hunters would no longer be heroes." The moral of the proverb is we Black Buddhists must tell our own history and culture. The first things that we at the Proud Black Buddhist World Association preach and teach is there is nothing wrong with being proud, Black, and Buddhist. Let me tell you a true Buddhist story that happened in 2013. In 2013, I left the Nichiren Buddhist set, and I was looking to join the Nichiren Buddhist set. The Nichiren Buddhist set was headed by a Black female priest who operates from Houston, Texas. Her name is Mukhe Shonin, and she was featured on CNN News Black in America. Now, my friend Shaka Kafani, who I introduced to Buddhism, had joined Nichiren Shu, and he sung the praises of Mukhe Shonin. Now, there I am. I left Nichiren Shu because of racism, because of the fact that these Japanese would not have a Buddhism of inclusion. And Shaka said, well, we at Nichiren Shu have a Buddhism of inclusion because we have a Black Nichiren Shu female priest. So Shaka and I agreed that we would call the new organization the Memphis Proud Black Buddhists. Now, Mukhe Shonin objected to the name because she felt that white people would get upset about the name Memphis Proud Black Buddhists, that she felt it was not including white people. Now, what we were told that we were no longer welcome to the Nichiren Shu meetings anymore because I wrote a letter to Mukhe Shonin and Nichiren Shu leaders asking them about their policy in regards to Black Buddhists and Black Buddhism and history. Were they going to be a religion of inclusion? And Shaka got angry with me. He cussed me out. He called me a terrorist and said I was no longer welcome at their house or at the Nichiren Shu meetings anymore. And so that is a true Buddhist story about what happened. What you have in 2013, even though we had a president, and we have a president who is the first Black president in the history of America, and everybody knows we have a Black president. You had in 2013 a Nichiren Shu Black female priest who had a problem with the word Black. In fact, even today, what Mukhe Shonin or the Nichiren Shu people must not realize is that there is a movement going on in America called Black Lives Matter. I am so excited that when I watched the Super Bowl this past Sunday, and there was Beyonce and the beautiful black women, and they did a tribute to black history and black culture. And what you have today is that you have a superstar like Beyonce, who I'm just really falling in love with, who is using her celebrity status to fight for social justice. See, there is nothing wrong with being black and proud, and there's nothing wrong with speaking out for a cause of social justice. For example, we have the Academy Awards, and yet for the last 2 years you don't have black people included. Even worse, in the Buddhist religion, the Japanese have extricated all black history, culture, and writings from Buddhism. But we, at the Proud Black Buddhist World Association, we are black and proud, and we preach and teach that there's nothing wrong with being black and proud. Now, it is Black History Month in America, and this Black Buddhist history lecture is called Tina Turner, the Mother of Proud Black Buddhists. Before I get into my lecture, I just want to just really thank Beyonce again. Now, one person asked me, they said, should you not get Tina Turner's permission to call her the mother of proud black Buddhists? I explained that such a title is honorary. For example, James Brown did not name himself Soul Brother Number One or the Godfather of Soul. These titles are honorary. While such titles are honorary, there must be a history and culture surrounding the facts as to why Tina Turner is the mother of proud black Buddhists. Let me give you just a little bit of history that's interrelated. Since this is Black History Month, that will also give you a teaching and an explanation and an understanding. For example, I live in the city of Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee is the home or the birth of blues music. Now, there is a lot of discussion about where the blues was born. People in New Orleans have blues. People in St. Louis have blues. You got St. Louis blues. You have New Orleans blues. Now, what event happened that made Memphis, Tennessee the place of the birth of the blues? Well, what happened was, there is a man by the name of William Christopher. His last name was Handy. William Christopher is known as W.C. Handy. What he did was he the first person to play black music? No. But what William Christopher Handy could do, he could write music. And he wrote a song called Mr. Crump's Blues. And what he did was he got a copyright. That means the first documented writing that was documented, a copyright. He got the first copyright on blues music, and that de facto made him the father of blues. Now, let's give you another interrelated story. Just almost jogging distance from this house, that's like 5 miles, 6 miles, there's a studio in Memphis called Sun Recording Studios. Now, most people relate to Sun Recording Studios because of the king of rock and roll. Elvis Presley recorded his first song at Sun Recording Studios in 1954. But in 1951, a young man from right down the road in Clarksdale, Mississippi, he came from Clarksdale, Mississippi, and his name was Ike Turner. Now, most people want to bash Ike Turner for the things of the relationship between him and Tina Turner, but historically, in 1951, Ike Turner and another young man by the name of Jackie Brimstone came to Sun Recording Studios, and they recorded a song called Rocket 88. That means Rocket 88, it was about the Rocket 88 Oldsmobile, and it became the first rock and roll record in the history of rock and roll. So you see, because it was copywritten, because there is a literary record, because we have a record, that makes Ike Turner actually the father of rock and roll music. Now, let's tie this back into Nichiren Shonin. See, Nichiren taught us, and he teaches Buddhism by what is called the Gosho. The Gosho are letters that Nichiren wrote to his disciples. And those Gosho, or the letters that is written, that's kind of like our Buddhist Bible, and we read the Gosho in order to learn the Buddhist doctrine as taught by Nichiren Shonin, who taught that the Lotus Sutra, taught by Shakyamuni, was the highest of Shakyamuni's teachings. Now, in the Gosho, there is a Gosho called the Three Tripitaka Masters Pray for Rain. And Nichiren Shonin gives us an explanation as to why Tina Turner is the mother of the proud Black Buddhist. Well, at least he gives it a theory. And he writes in the Gosho, quote, "In judging the relative merit of Buddhist doctrines, I, Nichiren, believe that the best standards are those of reason and documented proof. And even more valuable than reason and documented proof is the proof of actual fact," unquote. Now, Nichiren teaches us that the best standards to judge Buddhist doctrines are reason and documented proof. Nichiren writes that proof of actual fact is even more valuable. Now, how did Tina Turner become the mother of proud Black Buddhists? Now, let's kind of get into this a little bit more. Now, let us get into Black Buddhist history in America. In early American history, there were Buddhists, and they called themselves transcendentalists. Like I remember reading in high school English about the transcendentalists. There was Henry David Thoreau, and there was Ralph Waldo Emerson, and they were people who studied the Buddhist teachings, and they, transformed the thinking of America, because we were in a transcendental stage of teaching in America. Now, when you come to Buddhism, now the question is, what is the first documented record of a Black Buddhist in America? Now, when we say what's the first documented record, what is the first documented record of a Black or an African American person promoting Buddhism? Now, we have that. Now, please Google Black Buddhists in America. Where is the documentation of the first Buddhists in America? What we mean by first Black Buddhist, we mean where is the documented evidence of a Black person promoting or introducing Buddhism? Please show evidence, as Nichiren writes when he says show proof of facts. Now, Anthony Elmore can show you proof of fact. Look on this cover of Jet magazine dated February 15th, 1979, and you will see Tina Turner on the cover of Jet magazine, the most prominent Black weekly publication in the world. Jet Magazine is a black magazine culturally designed to uplift and bring pride and dignity to black people. Tina was the first to tell the story. She told this story on February 15, 1979 in Jet Magazine, 14 years before the movie came out, What Love Got to Do with It. If you want concrete evidence of a proud black Buddhist, then read the February 15th issue of Jet Magazine. I kept this magazine on the table of my Buddhist altar for years. We now have the Proud Black Buddhist World Association because we have historic documentation and love and respect for Tina Turner. She is the mother of proud black Buddhists. There is nothing wrong with a black baby or a black movement because we have movements like Black Lives Matter. It was the black movement that changed America. It is the proud black Buddhists who are changing the way people think of Buddhism, thanks to our proud black Buddhist mother, Tina Turner. Now, what we're going to do is that we're going to give a link where you can read the article that happened in Jet Magazine, February 15th. Just scroll down to the bottom of this website that you're going to see on YouTube. Just scroll down to the bottom in the description column, and we're going to put a link to where you can read the article. I am Anthony Elmore, President and Founder of the Proud Black Buddhist World Association, bringing to you Black Buddhist history. That Tina Turner is the mother of the Proud Black Buddhists. Thank you very much. In the Gosho, the gift of rights reads, the great teacher Milo compared these passages with the one from the 6th volume of the Lotus Sutra that reads, quote, no worldly affairs of life or work are ever contrary to the true reality. He revealed their meaning and pointed out that although the first two sutras are profound, since their meaning is still shallow and fails to approach that of the Lotus Sutra, they relate to secular matters in terms of Buddhism, whereas the Lotus Sutra explains that in the end, secular matters are the entirety of Buddhism. Since secular matters are the entirety of Buddhism, we teach Buddhism with a good rhythm. Get on up for the Lotus Sutra. Get on up and let it move. Get on up for the Lotus Sutra. Get on up and let it move. Step to the left, step to the right, move to the middle, move to the left. Shake your arm, shake your hip. This song is called the Lotus Sutra Dip. Top the hand and the leg tip. Shut the bottom and the light tip. Shake your arm, shake your hip. This song is called the Lotus Sutra Dip. Coming to you, the Lotus Sutra. Coming to you, the Lotus Sutra. Coming to you, the Lotus Sutra.